You see a 15-year-old Indian boy in an American mall trying to figure out which t-shirt to buy. He looks at different colors. It's confusing. He looks at the blue color. He looks at the red one. Then he again looks at the plain white one. He doesn't know which one to buy. He's confused. He's still trying to figure out if he should buy the red one. The red one is catching his attention. Or if he should go for the blue one, which looks more soothing to him. For a while he thought that if he goes around in the mall and clear his head, maybe that will help him take a decision. But unfortunately, that didn't help him. That 15-year-old boy was me during my exchange year to United States. It's not because we could not make a decision. It was more the seniors, the parents, they are the ones who are supposed to take decisions for us. It's because they have more experience. It's because they have seen more than us. So when I was in the States during my exchange year, it was the first time when I actually saw the cultural differences. It was something unique. It was something different. The things they used to do, the way they used to do, the lifestyle they had was completely different. I remember waking up every morning and my host dad and my host mom giving me a very tight hug. Not for 2 seconds or 3 seconds, it was for 2 minutes and 3 minutes. So it was kind of very different in the beginning, but then later on I got used to it. It was really nice. My host dad used to have the glasses here, and I always used to tell him that it's going to break someday. So other things like having dinner at 5:30 or 6 o'clock, it does not make sense. We Indians have dinner at 8, 9, 10, 11, sometimes 12. It doesn't really matter, but they have that exact timing. Or using the scientific calculator for maths. We Indians are smart, accept it. Come on, we don't need calculators. But they wanted us to use the calculators, and I got a D in pre-calculus. So I was like, okay. So I see these differences. I acknowledge the struggle I had, the conflict that was with me. And all these things I learned. When my exchange year got over, I came back to India, and I had an interesting experience. I was not the same person I was before. I had a lot of learnings. I saw the differences, and the major thing was that I had multiple identities. I was an amalgamation of Indian culture as well as the American culture. And when I start taking decisions, when I had that make a decision or make a choice, I always had to think about where I stand. It was summer of 2010, and I was back from the States, and I was walking around, and the sun was up in the sky. It was sunny. So when that happened, I was wearing my shorts, I was wearing my blue t-shirt, and I was going for the ice cream shop. And I couldn't see many people, but there were 4 or 5 elderly people sitting on one side. And when I was walking, these guys stopped me, and they're like, come over here. I went to them. I'm like, okay, what's going to happen? So one of them said that, why are you wearing shorts? Before I could even answer the question, then another guy said that, it's prohibited in our religion. Why would you do something like that? So before I could think of an answer, before I wanted to give them the answer, what happened was that I was berated, I was criticized, commented upon that, what you are doing is wrong. I was labeled as, a culturally deviant person who has no respect for the Indian culture, or my parents never taught me the value of my own religion. Now, all that thing came to me. For a while, I stood there. I thought maybe, what should I do about it? Each cell of my body wanted to give them an answer that, hey, listen, old man, this is my life, I'm supposed to do what I want to do with it. And speaking of religion, isn't that something personal? But I stood there, and all I did was did complete opposite. I was standing, I was not looking into their eyes, I was nodding, and I was looking below. And I just gave them this confirmation that I'm agreeing with whatever you're saying. After a while, when it all got over, I walked away. And when I do the reflection, when I think about it, why I did what I had to do that time, I could have done something completely different. What was going on in my head? Perhaps giving them the answer that I thought would be a best answer. or the logical answer because it's something personal to me, but I didn't. The reason I see it is it was a bigger picture. I was looking at the bigger picture. My identity in my community was not just about myself. It was more about my family. It was more about what my stand is in the community. My parents, they live in the community and they enjoy a certain level of respect, the honor, and they have certain say in the community. So my sister and my brother, they have to get married in the same community. And eventually, the community actually defines me. So my actions will have implications. I could have given them an easy answer. I could have told them that, stay away, it's none of your business. But I didn't, because whatever I would do, it would come back to me. So I was looking at the bigger picture. It was making sense in my head that what I have to do. Recently, I was watching one of the TV shows and advertisement came up, which actually completely talked about two different aspects of Indian culture. We as Indian believe in collectivism. We believe that joint family is a wonderful thing. It's a beautiful concept. Or we believe that adjusting is okay. We believe that keeping or putting your needs before everything else is very important. Or we believe that marriages are not just a bond between bride and groom, but it's also the association between the families. But this ad was completely opposite of it. It was more focused on individualism. It was more focused on what you want to do, or it was more focused on doing some things which you love, just doing the activities alone. There was no concept of collectivism. So the values which we have been learning, which I grew in, was not there. It was not reflecting. So here I was in the struggle. I was acknowledging the differences. And I'm like, okay, I'm in India and the culture is diversified and I see this completely different perspective within in India. Which one I should follow? Is this the one with the culture where I want to have an individualistic lifestyle, whether I want to go for the collectivist lifestyle? Why didn't I give them a direct answer to those elderly people when they were asking me questions? Or why didn't I give them, I could have given them another response, or I could have just walked away. Why did I walk away? What was going on in my head? So when I think about all this thing, it brings me to a point where I try to create a bigger picture that, okay, whatever we are doing right now, the conclusions we are making, the choices we have, or once we see the inner struggle in ourselves, we have to make certain choices. Each day we are discovering ourselves. Each day we see the situations, the moments which we have, and we try to figure out what will be the next step, what will be the cost of the choice we are making, and how it will bring a change. You all have traveled a bit. Many of you have traveled a lot, maybe discovered a lot more than others. You all are global citizens. And I encourage you to see the bigger picture, where you not only see that, okay, one culture is right and one culture is wrong. You see the bigger global context, where you absorb the cultural diversity, where you see that, okay, this is something to be learned with an open mind. And once you start doing that, you'll have an understanding. Okay, if I actually do this, if I actually pause for a moment and see the different perspective and try to understand what's actually going on, you will have a chance to connect with your own sympathetic hearts. And once that is done, you'll have a chance to build a better tomorrow. Thank you.